Right now, 2.3 billion people believe a lie that could kill their children. 1 in 3 kids still thinks eating before swimming means certain death. Zero documented deaths in history. Ever. But the real danger isn't in the myth. It's in those who believe it. While everyone fears artificial intelligence replacing humanity, nobody talks about the enemy that's already won. Misinformation. It replicates in our brains better than any virus. These aren't harmless myths. They're cultural malware installed in childhood, running in the background for life. And today we're uninstalling them, one by one. Here are 10 scientific myths more dangerous than the truth they hide. Sugar makes you hyperactive. The myth, no sweets or you become a demon. The reality, the demon was already there. Sugar is just the perfect alibi. 1970s, the sugar rush legend is born. Finally, parents have someone to blame for birthday party apocalypses. Screaming kids, exploding balloons, overturned cakes, devastated homes. Ruthless experiment. 2 groups of kids, half with sugar, half with fake sweetener. Nobody knew who had what, not even the parents. Result? Zero difference in hyperactivity. The disturbing point? It was the parents creating the monster. They watched with the paranoia of undercover detectives, turning every laugh into proof of sugar hyperactivity. In psychology, it's called expectancy bias. You see what you expect to see. And the real drug isn't sugar, it's beliefs. Final paradox. The human brain consumes 20% of the body's glucose. If sugar were really fuel for chaos, every bakery would be a superhero training center. Stop for a second. How many times have you blamed sugar for a child's behavior? We only use 10% of our brain. The myth, you have hidden superpowers to unlock. The reality, you're already using them all. And you have no secret reserves. It's the Viagra of self-esteem, promising performance that will never come. Hollywood made millions selling this illusion. Lucy, Limitless, dozens of films where a magic pill transforms you into Einstein, Mozart, Batman. Suddenly you speak 12 languages and bend reality with thought. The harsh truth, we use all brain areas, just not simultaneously. Scans show widespread activity even during sleep. No off zones exist. If it were true that we only use 10%, a small brain lesion wouldn't change anything. Instead, a microscopic clot can transform you into a different person. The disaster's origin. 1890, William James writes, man uses only a small part of his potential. It was philosophy, not neurology. Someone took it literally and the myth exploded. The brain is already a 20-watt supercomputer consuming more energy than a portable fridge. There's no hidden turbo mode. Cruel plot twist. If all neurons really fired together at maximum, you wouldn't become Einstein. You'd become epileptic in crisis. It's not an upgrade. It's a fatal system crash. The Empire State Building penny. The myth, a penny drills through your skull. The reality, physics is immune to urban legends. Ridiculous mass plus air resistance equals 25 miles per hour tap. It hits like wedding confetti. Annoying, not fatal. But the myth appeals because imagining assassin coins is more fun than accepting banal physical reality. The real nightmare, not pennies, but actual objects falling from construction sites daily. True story, New York 2010. Wrench from the 40th floor kills pedestrian. Zero legends, just crime news forgotten in 24 hours. Brutal lesson, real dangers don't need marketing. They work in silence. Toxic bonus, modern pennies are 97.5% zinc. They won't kill you falling, but if you swallow them, they poison you. Cheap poison for 5 cents. Lightning never strikes twice. The myth, nature is fair, it never strikes twice. The reality, nature doesn't do loyalty discounts. Roy Sullivan, Virginia Ranger, struck by 7 lightning bolts and survived them all. He was a walking human lightning rod. His car hit 3 times on separate occasions. The Empire State Building? Over 100 strikes per year for nearly a century. Same place, same electrical routine. Physics is ruthless. Lightning only seeks the easiest path to ground. If that's you even 7 times, there's no justice. Just pure physics. Global statistics. 3% of victims struck multiple times. Certain routines, certain places, certain misfortunes turn you into a recurring target. Tragic ending, Roy Sullivan didn't die from lightning. He shot himself over unrequited love. Nature couldn't kill him in 7 attempts. A broken heart succeeded on the first try. The enhancing razor. The myth, shaving equals follicle doping. The reality, it's just an optical illusion that fooled humanity. When you cut a hair, you remove the soft tip and leave the hard base. It feels more robust to touch, but it's just geometry. Definitive experiment. Volunteers who shaved only one leg for 2 years, leaving the other wild. Result after 24 months? Zero difference in thickness, color, growth speed. If it really worked, Jeff Bezos would shave his head every hour to become Rapunzel. Instead, he stays smooth as an LED bulb. The cognitive bug, It's not the hair fooling you, but your brain. It registers the different tactile sensation and transforms it into scientific proof. A programming error no Gillette can fix. Disturbing universality. This myth exists in every culture on the planet. We're all victims of the same identical perceptual bug. Swimming after eating kills. The myth, pizza plus pool equals certain murder. The reality, never happened. Zero documented deaths in human history. No global statistics report deaths from digestion plus swimming. Michael Phelps consumed 12,000 calories daily and swam 6 hours. If true, he'd have died at 16 instead of winning 23 Olympic golds. The real killer, programmed fear. Kids convinced carbonara is a death sentence enter water, already terrified. Racing heart, short breath, real panic, and the imaginary nightmare becomes a concrete physical problem. It's not biology, it's armed suggestion. Real statistical killer. Alcohol plus swimming equals 70% of adult drownings. But that's not myth. It's lethal mathematics. Think about it. How many times have you waited 30 minutes after eating before entering water? The chimney head. The myth, 50% of heat escapes through your head. The reality, born from a completely wrong military test. 1950s. Soldiers in thermal suits covered everywhere except the head. Obviously, all heat escaped from there. It was the house's only open window. Elementary physics. Heat dispersion follows body proportions. Head equals 7% of body equals 7% of dispersed heat. End of magic. But the myth survives because it's convenient. A wool hat and you're invincible against cold? Reassuring. False but reassuring. Brutal reality. In Arctic cold, even with a Soviet general's cap, without adequate gloves and boots, you'll freeze anyway. Macabre detail. The brain is a 20-watt thermal plant that never shuts off. If you don't disperse enough heat, you don't freeze. You cook from inside. Goldfish memory. The myth, 3-second memory equals idiotic life. The reality, they've been studying you for months. Documented experiments show goldfish that solve complex mazes, recognize human faces after months, anticipate precise meal times, play water soccer with rules and strategies, tested memory, up to 3 months, not 3 seconds. Disturbing plot twist. You're not observing them. They're cataloging you. Your habits, your schedules, your movements in front of the glass. The 3-second myth never existed in scientific literature. It was born from absolute nothing and prospered for decades. 100% pure misinformation. Who's more intelligent? The animal silently studying you, or the human underestimating it? The stomach museum. The myth that 97 Big Babel is still in there. The reality, the intestine doesn't collect. It's a conveyor belt. Gum doesn't digest, but it doesn't open a bed and breakfast in your stomach either. It enters, resists acids, travels, exits in 3 to 7 days. Goodbye. Real case. Kids swallowing entire packs daily. Total intestinal blockage. But not from 7-year accumulation. From sudden traffic jam. Too much stuff all at once. System clogged. Cosmic irony, gum lasts 1 week in your body. On pavement, decades. You're biodegradable. Your gum isn't. The planet will preserve your gum longer than your memories. Cosplay Vikings. The myth, Nordic warriors equals bipedal bulls. The reality, theatrical invention passed off as archaeology. 1,200 years of archaeological digs. 0 horned helmets found. Ever. Horns existed in religious rituals. In battle, they'd be perfect handles to drag you down and crack your skull. The culprit, Richard Wagner, 1876. Ring of the Nibelung opera, spectacular costumes for scenic effect. The audience mistook them for historical documentation. Cultural avalanche, films, comics, video games. Horned Vikings conquered the collective imagination better than real ones who conquered half of Europe. Final paradox. We have more visual proof of fake Vikings, Hollywood, than authentic ones, artifacts. A theatrical costume erased 1,000 years of true history. If a myth is fascinating enough, it can rewrite the past, even when that past is literally buried beneath our feet. Here are 10 myths that hacked human software more successfully than any artificial intelligence. The real threat isn't robots that think. It's the lies we keep thinking. These myths survive because they have a superpower truth doesn't possess. They transform complex problems into simple stories. And the human brain will always prefer a reassuring lie to an uncomfortable truth. Now the uncomfortable question. How many of these myths were in your head? And especially, which one will you keep believing even after this video? Write it in the comments. No shame. We're all programmed with the same cognitive bugs. If you have the courage to discover how many other absolute truths are just cultural malware installed for centuries, subscribe.